Welcome back to Bibliophiles, Audiophiles. We are finally finishing the ABC challenge. I thought one of us was going to die first before we ever got here.
Well,
We're doing Z, which technically this isn't a Z.
technically no.
Technically,
Technically
no.
the series is a
Yes.
Z.
Yeah, we did Zodiac Academy, but we did the first book, The Awakening. But we heard good things about Zodiac Academy, so we wanted to try it out. Zodiac Academy is available on Spotify Unlimited. It's also available on, no, no, shut up, stop
No?
talking to me. Shut up. Zodiac Academy is available on Spotify Premium. And it is also available on Kindle Unlimited. If you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it is $6.99 to buy the Kindle version. The description, as read on Storygraph, you have been selected to attend Zodiac Academy, where your star sign defines your destiny. If you're one of the Fae, elemental magic is in your blood, and apparently it's in ours. As twins born in the month of Gemini, we're a rare breed, even in this academy of supernatural a-holes. Changelings were outlawed hundreds of years ago, but I guess our birth parents didn't get the memo, which means we're totally unprepared for the ruthless world of Fae. Air, fire, water, and earth. No one has ever harnessed all four of them until we arrived, and it hasn't made us any friends so far. As the rarest elementals ever known, we're already a threat to the four celestial heirs, the popular vindictive bullies who happen to be some of the hottest guys we've ever seen. It doesn't help that they're the most dangerous beasts in the academy, and probably on Earth too. Our fates are intertwined, but they want us gone. They've only got until the lunar eclipse to force us out, and they'll stop at nothing to succeed. We never knew we had a birthright to live up to, but now that we do, we intend to claim our throne. We can't expect any help from the faculty when it comes to defending ourselves. So if the dragon shifters want some target practice, the werewolves want someone to hunt, or the vampires fancy a snack, then we have to be ready. But we've been looking after each other for a long time, and fighting back is in our blood. Today's horoscope: totally screwed. This is a full-length medium burn novel that is the first in a University Age Academy series. Expect forbidden love and bully romance with mature content suitable for upper YA readers and onwards. On Amazon, underneath a totally different description, by the way, this is a dark bully romance. Don't go expecting a sweet school for magic with friends around every corner. Fae fight for everything they own, and Zodiac Academy is a cutthroat school for students aged 18 plus, where only the strongest prevail. There's no Dumbledore here to save anyone's,
Oops.
and Lionel accrue to will give Voldemort a run for his money in the evil dictator category. So hold on to your Stardust, broomsticks not required, and get ready for a bumpy ride. Content warnings: bullying, emotional abuse, sexual harassment, sexual content, death of a parent, violence, car accident, abandonment, and murder.
Let's see. We start off with our time and true favorite, Storygraph. The average rating on that is a 3.65. I had to go through a lot of reviews for all these just in general
Sorry.
because it was hard to find stuff. Especially usually when you see the 5-star ratings, they're usually like novel length. There was a lot of 1-star ratings that were novel length too. And I was like, dang, because that's, a lot. But
Mhm.
anyways, so for my lowest rating one, which is the actually a 0-star because I'm assuming this person DNF'd, it says this was just so bad. It was kind of comical for a bit, but then the bullying started and it felt like I was just not going to enjoy poorly written bullying for the rest of this book/series. 5 stars says, pretty sure there's crack in this book. I love the trope where you're just a normal girl down on your luck, struggling to make ends meet, and a hot guy shows up and surprise, rich, and a princess, and the most powerful, even without trying. Times two, because twins. And of course, they are drop dead gorgeous. Everyone in this book is. It's like the cast of Vampire Diaries set as Hogwarts. But everyone is mean. It's okay though. You can be mean as long as you're sexy. There's a special kind of person who likes a book like this, and it's me. I am that person. The one on Goodreads, that average rating is a 3.82. And my 1-star is also a DNF on this, which says, I couldn't stand it since when is harassment sexy? Fair point. I'm gonna give her that.
Yeah, no, like no. Being harassed, like sexually, physically, emotionally, like that's pretty much every kind of harassment that you could be harassed was in this book. And it was like the author was trying to sexualize it and be like, "Oh, am I into this?" And like that's not. It was very bleh, bleh. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good because it's. I mean, yeah. I
It
mean,
just
you've had those moments, where it's just like. you've told
It
yourself you weren't gonna like something,
seems,
and then you try it, and then you're kind of just like, do I actually,
yeah, no, it was
like,
not giving emotionally mature.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's school,
Yeah, honestly, like whatever, everyone in this book is like 18, 19.
probably. I'd hope so. I really hope so. Like, I hope they're adults.
Yeah,
you know? Anyways, 5 stars off of Goodreads. Says, I was really pleasantly surprised with this book, so much that I'm moving on to the next book in the series. I love this book. If you're a fantasy reader, you need to give this series a chance. The world building is excellent. I never read books like this with these kinds of mixed up paranormal magic and characters. So if you love paranormal, fierce female lead, mystery solving, magic, bully romance, this book has all of that, so get with it. I need to get
Lord.
with it, to be
You need to like
honest.
get with the program,
I
honestly.
really
Good
do.
Lord.
And then Amazon, the average rating on there is a 4.2 out of 5. The 1 star I picked out says, I have been led to believe that this is a really good series. The first book did not exemplify this, just repeated in profound, degrading condescension of the two female protagonists. Kind of feels like the authors are going to make the 4 evil male antagonists out to be heroes in the future, but it is disgusting to any self-respecting female to forgive and forget what they have done throughout this short book. I'm going to keep reading the next book, but this one left me feeling disgusted and angry. I read to escape, not to be made to feel like this. Very valid, to be honest.
That is 100% valid. Yeah, it was very like demeaning towards women,
It
which is
was.
crazy because this was written by two
Two
women.
women.
Two
Yeah.
women. Girl, no.
Yeah.
Like let's not do that, you know? That was so sad. No, yeah. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Because, I mean, you're right. The 5 stars. With everyone out to get them, the Vega twins are just trying to survive, learning what it means to be a Fae, but also learning who they are as individuals in between two different worlds that never give them a break. All of this while being expected to take a throne they didn't know existed, aren't sure they even want. This is an absolutely amazing and magical coming of age story. Can't wait to dive into the next book. And that's all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. Bro, who's that?
Sounds so familiar.
Sounds like James.
Oh my God, I think it is James.
Oh
Wow,
yeah, dude.
James.
There's some spoilers coming up, sweetie. You better cover your ears.
I love how we progressively keep getting worse at
It's funny.
like doing that.
It's so
Uh,
stupid and funny. So, interesting enough, right? I found out that this was on Libby through our library, right? And
yeah.
apparently, I ended up finding and getting the fully dramatized version of the
Ooh.
series or of the book, just the book. I've only read
Oh,
the first book, but I do have
I
the
think it's
second one
8. Yeah.
as a hold currently on the
How
Libby app. But
many
anyways,
books is in this series? 8 or 7?
a lot. I think it's 12 to be honest. Who could find it faster?
8, 8.6, 9, 9.1, 9.5, 9.5. Okay, so apparently it's 9.5. That's a mini novella. Yeah. So there's 9, but there's a lot of novellas. The last novella released in 2024 called Balls of Destiny.
Oh, interesting. I don't know if I
Interesting,
would have gone with
interesting.
that title, but okay.
I don't know if I would have either. Okay, the
But
rest of the rest of these, how are we already running out of time? We just started recording. Oh
because
my
we took a
gosh.
very long time to start recording.
Yeah, we did.
But anyways, so I listened to a fully dramatized version of this book, which I'm talking it had different voice actors for all the people. So like when this person like it wasn't like, when you like read or not read, listen to like an audiobook, it's like it's just one narrator.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
had like a narrator and then you had a female voice saying this line and a male voice saying this line and it went back and forth like that, which was really,
yeah.
really cool. 'Cause it just felt more immerseful, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it did get a little confusing because some of the male voices sounded very similar, and same with female
Exactly,
voices.
yeah.
And it didn't really like give you like a good cutoff of when like you're ta in one sister's perspective versus the other. So you kind of had to use a little bit of context clues to figure out whose
Yeah.
perspective it was in.
So I
But
used Alexa to read this to me, and so that was really confusing too because it would swap between Tori and Darcy like over and over sometimes, and like I couldn't pay I didn't know who was talking when. I just kind of had to use context clues.
but my first thought is that it is giving Divergent meets Harry Potter meets Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
because you have pick pick which one you're in, like which group you're in. And then
Yeah.
you have Avatar, which is like the four elements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Harry Potter because there's like magic involved with that.
Academy. Yeah. And like I think there was several what do you call it? Several times in the book and also in the descriptions where it's trying to like link itself to Harry Potter and like Hogwarts and stuff like that. And like making jokes about how like this isn't Hogwarts and I wish I would have gotten a letter via owl or stuff like that.
Hmm.
Because I think the authors were kind of hoping that by trying to make this like Harry Potter, it would be as popular as Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I
I can
when
see
I
that.
us going into this book, I started off on the wrong foot, I believe, because I had been scrolling Facebook, obviously, because I'm a mom. What else moms do? And Book Talk Baddies, someone had posted, if you don't like the plot of Onyx Storm, then you won't like Zodiac Academy. And I had actually just finished reading Onyx Storm when I saw that, and I love Rebecca Yarros. I've read pretty much all of her books. I love, Fourth Wing, Iron Flame. Onyx Storm was more like a filler to me. And it was basically like repeating a lot of stuff that we already knew as readers. And so I basically went into this already discouraged because I knew the way Onyx Storm was basically just a filler. So I pretty much just assumed this was also just going to be a filler. And in a lot of ways it was. There was really not a whole lot happening except for like this is us. This is our life. This is our new life because whoa, surprise, we didn't know any of this stuff. We're just giving Harry Potter. And then there was people that hated
Yeah.
them giving Harry Potter. And
Yeah.
then, the what's it called? The sexual tension. I'm air quoting tension very heavily because in my eyes it was more like assault. But the tension, that's new. That wasn't Harry Potter.
No. No. I mean,
Definitely not the
there's
first one anyways.
it was kind of in like that one little clip of that thing we've seen or read. But that's not actually Harry Potter. That's just
Oh yeah.
fan made stuff.
Yeah, like the time we had I think it was Skype at the time or Discord call, and we were just taking turns reading Harry Potter fanfic.
Oh, we weren't taking turns though, because you couldn't keep a straight face, and it was all James.
I couldn't stop laughing. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, so like the sisters Darcy and Tori, they aged out of foster care. Tori steals motorcycles and sells them. It
Which,
didn't really
which,
say what Dorsey did.
which, I don't think she did anything.
Okay, Elaine.
But Tori, which first of all, Tori is such a baddie name.
It really
And
is.
also
It
stealing
really is. I love
motorcycles is
Tori.
also baddie behavior. But how come she couldn't just get her like a real job and instead of having to steal motorcycles to sell them?
Yeah, like why couldn't she have been on Straight and Narrow? But like honestly, Straight and Narrow chicks aren't hot. Chicks who steal motorcycles, hot. You know?
Yeah. When like they were going through and like everyone was like, okay, well, can you do this and can you do this, when they get to the school?
Yeah, you have like
And,
selection.
they're like, oh, well, you have all four elements. That tracks. Like
Yeah.
if you're reading a book like this, like that was kind of a given.
See, this I don't want to keep ragging on a book. How cornbread did that sound? Stop.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's slipping through. This book was so predictable. Like, I don't know if it was because it was like trying to follow Harry Potter so closely. This kid who was born with natural abilities, like obviously he's great. I think it's because these two authors were trying to follow so closely to the specific genre that they were already creating that
Yeah.
it was just hard for me to not see exactly where it was going and be like just turned off by it. Because like two of the abilities are not common. Like everyone gets one, but like two is like, oh, that's kind of odd. But like but
That's
that's fine. It
quirky.
happens. Yeah, three is rare. Four unheard of. And of course they had all four.
Right.
It was very predictable. It was very predictable.
I was gonna say that cliche. And then if I were to have picked like who is gonna go into like which I want to call them houses. They're not houses, but which element they were gonna follow.
Yeah.
It makes sense that Darcy would be an air and Tori would be in fire.
Yeah.
Like it
No, yeah,
just based off of
especially
their
because she's the
personalities,
badass.
like it just made way too much sense. I
It
mean, I
did.
understand why they both want they really wanted to just be an heir, but then the headmasters or whatever were like, "Oh no, no, you guys have to be different ones because we
Yeah.
say so." So
It's an
she goes
unspoken
into
rule.
fire, which is like the worst one
Yeah.
to go into because the guy who's
Fire.
that who's like the heir, who's like
Hates
head of
her.
that, like actually hates her. I mean, they all hate her, but he
Yeah.
probably hates them the most. And
See,
she's like, I'm gonna go with him.
yeah, literally. And then she was like, "Oh my gosh, she's kind of hot." And I'm like, "Girl, no, stop." Like, I see that if it was elemental or changelings, I feel like I would have had a better time with this. But with it being elemental and changelings, also zodiacs, like that was extremely confusing. To like, you have to remember which zodiac you are, and then you have to remember which ability you're gonna have. And then they had all four, so they had all these different classes for all four of them. And then the professors are like, yeah, also everyone here's a changeling. You gotta figure out what you are, whether you're a vampire or a werewolf. Like at the beginning of the book, there was like a huge list of like categories and subcategories of like all the changelings that you could be, and it was like incredibly confusing at times because I still don't even know what they were, like what changelings they were. It's incredibly, see, if it was a book that was like about abilities, that's great. Or if it's a book about being a changeling, that's great. But the fact that it was both, it kind of seemed like this entire book was like an information dump to read for the
Yeah.
entire rest of the series.
Which I feel like the reason why is because it was kind of just to establish the world so you understood what was going on. But I don't think, well, to be fair, that's pretty much what the first book in ACOTAR is. It's basically just world building for the most part, minus like maybe like the last 100 pages,
That is true. Yeah.
which is why it was really slow for me to read that book because it was just a lot. And
I
this whole
know
book
everyone
is like
denounced
that
that one.
too, which I mean, that actually kind of goes into my next note because that's the one thing I really like about this is like verbalizing like our own thoughts about it because it makes a
Yes.
lot more sense. My next note in relation to all this is everyone is just like, you don't know this? Like, bro, they're not from here. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know anything because they didn't grow up with all this. And now, like, talking about how this is just like an information dump, that all makes sense
Mm-hmm.
too. Why that was like the one thing that was really annoying to me is just that like everyone was just like, how come you don't know this?
Oh
You
my gosh,
know?
yeah.
Like that was like a repeated thing throughout the whole thing. And there was like no one willing to help them, which was very aggravating too, because it's like
Yes.
these people have never, they spent like what, 18 years or something like that growing up without this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're suddenly thrust into this so that they can be part of like a throne and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're acting like you're belittling them because they don't know this, even though they didn't grow up with all this.
See, that's just like exactly like another boy with glasses that we know. It's just like that, but like he had friends that helped him out. And so this entire book, I was kind of like, well, they need someone to help them
Yeah.
besides teachers, because I mean, like teachers did help in Harry Potter
But
as well,
but the
but even
teachers
just like
didn't even help him here.
classmates. No, no, like not hardly at all. In fact, the teachers actually ended up using them more than one time.
The heirs, I forgot their names. It's been so long. But
I
the
know. Yeah, I just wrote
heirs,
down the errors.
they all are just full on embarrassing the sisters in like so many different ways. I think one of them cut Darcy's hair or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them like stole one of their clothes or something like that, I'm pretty sure. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
remembering that right. Like
Something like that. Yeah.
there was different things where they're like full on, like it's not even just bullying, it's like full on harassment.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's just not even batting an eye to it. They're like the other students are laughing about it. The teachers know what's happening and they're not doing anything about it. And it's like, where does the line get drawn out of all this? Oh, someone did take her clothes.
Yeah, because then
Forgot
she
who.
went swimming in like a watering hole and someone took her clothes or
I think
something.
it was Tori though, because it was talking about boots or something, and those
Yeah,
are like her favorite boots,
yeah.
and someone
No, her
stole them.
boots ruined because she was crossing the hot coals and they were melting or something like that.
Yes, it was that.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
something along those lines, but
Yeah, yeah.
she never got them back.
That's so sad. Do you know how
That
hard it is to find a good pair of boots?
yes.
Like for real,
Any kind of,
as
and not
women,
even just boots, any kind of shoes.
especially if they're
Any kind of
comfortable.
shoes. Comfortable, cute, like literally my favorite thing to wear all the time.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find, and if someone took that away from me, I would be so
Yeah,
mad.
I would be too, honestly. I love how the principal is like, listen, girls, for real,
False.
girls, girls, your parents sent you to Earth so you'd be safe because they were like literally being assassinated. But the principal was like going around like, hey, that's the two girls, by the way. And I'm like, can you like not do that? Because like you're like,
Yeah.
your parents died to keep you safe. By the way, Joe Blow and his grandma knows who you are.
Yeah.
But that just seemed so like counterproductive because these heirs are hating on them because of this, which wasn't really information they needed to know.
Right.
And I just felt like it was very like it's like when you go to a new school and like
Yeah.
the teacher makes you stand up in front of the classroom. It's like introduce yourself, like that's that kind of behavior.
Yeah. I hated that. It was
Yeah.
kind of made me cringe a little bit. But with the heirs hating them, I can understand why they were upset about them being there
Oh,
because
I could too.
they spent their whole life training and preparing to take on the throne, and then all
Hmm.
of a sudden these two girls randomly show up and they're like, "We're the heirs. We're
Yeah.
gonna take the throne." But
Yeah.
they've said numerous times over and over again throughout the whole book too is that like they don't really care about the throne, they care about the money
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they've
Because
spent
they're
their whole
broke.
life being broke, so they just want the money and to go back to their life in the, you know, the mortal world.
Which how did they think that was gonna work? Do they
I don't
seriously think these Fae and changelings use US currency? Or if there's like a bank that would be willing to swap that out?
I, I don't know.
But like honestly, if I was the heirs, not the girls, I would be like, have some money. If that's all you want, get out. But like no, they sat there and goaded them until these girls were like, you know what? We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We can seriously be queens here. Come on, let's do
Yeah.
it. And like I did like that. Like I did like how they went from like, okay, no, I don't want to be here. Let's just figure out what this magic is or
Yeah.
the abilities are, and then we're gonna skedaddle after we get some money. And then they were like, you know what? No, we're gonna stay. This is ours. Like I really like that. How it was like women coming into the power kind of deal.
Which, yeah, that was a good aspect of the book. Because, I mean, Tori could do it because she's a baddie.
Oh yeah.
Darcy would be,
Eh.
you know,
Yeah.
the better character to have that kind of like
Power, yes.
story arc, I guess. But
Yeah.
they're twins because they're Geminis.
I'm a Gemini.
You are a Gemini. You're my sister
Damn.
sign.
Maybe that's why everyone thinks we're sisters every time we go somewhere together. Hey, we're either gay lovers or sisters. There's no in between.
No.
Surely not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my next note is why are vampires so sexual all the time? I don't remember Vlad from The Sims being this horny.
I mean, you can make him if
Oh,
you
actually,
know.
that's not a story arc in The Sims I've ever done. Like I've never like had babies of Vlad or anything, which is
Well,
surprising.
I've never had vampires, I think. No, I did on The Sims 3, but I
Yeah.
didn't really particularly like them. But I don't
See, I don't
have
like either. Yeah.
I don't have vampires in Sims 4 because I don't like vampires. Haven't gotten the werewolves. I don't really plan on getting the fairy pack that's about to come out.
I'm planning on getting the fairy pack. I have to admit, I'm a simp for fairies. I haven't got the werewolf one though, and I did not get the Star Wars one because I don't like Star Wars. Fight me.
I like Star Wars, but I didn't get it either because I felt like that was just, I don't
A
know,
money
not
grab.
necessary
Yeah.
pack to me. I like all the real world human stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like my favorite is probably the farm stuff.
Yes.
Imagine that,
Or like
someone
the
from
kitchen
Alabama.
stuff.
Oh my gosh, the kitchen stuff, yes. Anyways, what's your next note?
I can't tell if they are lusting for or hating on the heirs and Orion.
Yes.
Like that's pretty much what the entire book was.
Yes. I was really scared that this was going to turn out to be like a professor teacher, like sexual
That's what I
thing.
thought too.
Because like it kept like pointing back to Orion, and I was like, oh no, like that's is Pretty Little Liars.
That
Until
that's not the kind of trope that I really like. It feels icky
no,
to me.
yeah, like especially if it's like a man in power and like a girl that's not in power, that seems like icky to me. Like the other way around is still icky, but like less icky, if that makes sense. It's more like ick, but no, the
I
other
think
way
that's
around is
just a
like
double
icky.
standard.
Yeah, no, like I don't like people in power, even
It,
if they're not taking advantage of the person below them or like above them or vice versa or whatever. It still feels like the opportunity is there. They could. That's gross.
it's just like it's kind of like it's not like it's incest. Like your teacher's not your mom or your dad, but it gives off those kind of vibes to me.
Older family member that watched you
Yeah.
grow up, kind of deal. Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean that's what teachers do. They watch you grow. So,
yeah, I
no,
know.
kind of weird. With the audio, okay, so there was that tarot card teacher, right?
Hmm.
And that reminded me of Professor Trelawney because, you know, Hogwarts and all
Yes,
that.
yes.
But what's funny is the voice actor they used for the tarot card teacher in this book sounded just like that goat professor in Wicked.
Oh my gosh,
So
did it?
that's what I kept thinking every time I heard this guy's voice, because he sounded like old and goaty and stuff like that.
Oh my
And
gosh.
then he died at the end, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Like, didn't they find his body completely burned at the end of the book?
I don't. I didn't make a note on that. Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
that's
remember
what
that, but
happened. I'm pretty sure that's what
that's
happened.
that seems like something that would happen.
I'm pretty sure it was him because they've got like one last note from him, and then they found out he like was killed.
Oh, and they thought he was Falling Star, like the secret person that was helping them by like texting them and emailing them,
Yeah,
like leaving clues. Yeah, okay. Didn't that turn out to be Orion?
I don't know. I don't think so. I
I
don't
don't
remember
remember who it
that.
was.
I don't think they figured that out yet. I think that's part of like the whole series is figuring out who's
Oh,
telling them the clues and stuff.
yeah.
But they thought it was him, and then they find him dead. I'm pretty sure. Which made me really sad. I don't know why I didn't write that down. I'm very certain. Like
That seems like something important.
I vividly remember that happening in my head when I was listening to it though.
Yeah,
So like I know it happened. I just don't know why I didn't write it down.
you didn't care enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently not,
Didn't make it
despite
to
the
the
fact that I have the
notes.
second book like on hold and
Yeah.
will be ready and available for me in like 9 weeks.
Oh my, 9 weeks. Oh my gosh.
After finishing this book, like I don't even know how long ago I finished this book.
You could be married by then. I'm just kidding.
Honestly,
A little bit longer than 9 weeks, maybe.
uh,
That's close.
what do you mean? Hang on. I'm pulling up my
Anyways,
app to find out how long.
yeah.
It's probably like 15,
4, 5, 6, 7,
19
8,
weeks.
9, 10. Oh, that's a lot more than I thought it was.
It's still not a lot.
I know. It's like my phone keeps sending me notifications about my upcoming trip and telling me how many days away it is. And I'm like, I have not even began to think about that yet. Like, I'm stressing. You know what's really funny is I could literally say it and they would never know because they don't listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
And I could be like, yeah, I tried warning you, but you don't listen.
Honestly, you should.
That would be so funny. Oh my gosh. But imagine this is the
Watch.
episode he actually
I was gonna
listens to.
say,
This is the book my Kindle broke on.
is it really?
Yes, because I wrote on here broken Kindle with an angry face. Because like I actually just got a new one for birthday slash Mother's Day slash we're fixing to go to the beach trip gift. It's right here beside me actually. You want to see it? It's got cats on it. Oh, it's got cats.
Ooh.
Some of them have buckles. Anyways, yeah, no, this is the book I was reading when my Kindle like decided to just commit suicide. And so I was really mad.
Oh, so one of the things that like they kept, because Orion was a vampire-ish.
Yes.
Not really a vampire. It wasn't that, but it was like that's
Doesn't he?
everyone has a different way to access and replenish their power, and his is sucking other people's blood.
Okay, Professor Orion has the power of persuasion. He can make people do what he wants.
Yes, that too, because that's how he got him to
Yeah.
come to the school in the first place.
Yes. Which I feel like that's cheating, but
Yeah.
say la vie.
So him, and then also it was one of the heirs, and I can't remember what his name was. But one of the
I
heirs was also like
yeah.
that too. And
Mhm.
so I think both of them were both like, because like the girls were just like, fine, but you're the only one who could be, the one to like
Yes, yeah.
suck my the blood out of my neck or whatever it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
And then every time that would happen, they would be like, "Oh, well, I don't really like this." And they're like, "All right, you don't want to be the source of my power, then fight back." And it's like, "Okay, but no one's teaching them how to fight back."
It's giving assault. Like
It is.
like I'm not gonna say rape is too strong of a word, but I have a feeling that was along the lines of rape
It's very close.
because it was
If
like
if not, well,
you must want me to do it because you're not fighting back, but you don't know how to fight back kind of deal. Like that was like very
yeah, yeah,
I did not like I'm gonna be completely honest. I did not like the scenarios that these girls kept finding them in where it
yeah,
was like that and then all of a sudden they're gonna be like, "Yeah, we're gonna take it over. We're gonna be awesome. I'm gonna submit to this man." And then I'm gonna be awesome, and then I'm gonna take it over, but I'm gonna submit to this man too.
yeah.
And I'm like, why do you keep going back and forth like that, you know?
Probably
I
because
think in the
they
end though,
Probably because they like grew up in like a way where they had to rely on
that's true.
themselves, and it could just be that's just because how they are. But also, Orion has really good persuasion, so he kind of forced them to be that way.
Yeah. This is why men shouldn't be in power.
You know? Do you remember who Diego is?
No.
Cool,
Yes,
me
one of
either.
the friends.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't really remember too much either, but I had a feeling he's lying about something.
See, I kind of did too. Like, I made a note about how, like, they're friends. Like, I think the girl, they didn't make a note about her name, but the girl seemed to be, like, for them, but he seemed to be, like, for them to an extent. Like, I feel like he's probably in a later series going to be, like, a little bit of a backstabber.
I think so too. That's kind
I
of
could be
what I
completely
was
wrong.
feeling too. So they were warned about nymphs in the shadows, which are coming and like attacking people and
Hmm.
stuff. And their bright idea during like that big dance towards the end of the book was like, you know
Yes.
what? Let's go in the shadows.
Duh. That and like when they were bar hopping with their friends, and then like I think one of them got too drunk, and so the other one took them. And then they were like, "Well, our friends left. Look, there's the heirs. We could probably hang out with them." I'm like, "Are you guys dumb?
Yeah.
Like they literally torment you on campus. You're gonna hang out with them in your free time?
Well, that's just at school. Like maybe they'll be different out in
Maybe
public.
they'll be different if it has some alcohol in them, away from teachers."
I think Orion will be a good guy in the end of the book, or in the end of the book, but like in the end of the series or somewhere, like down the line,
Hmm.
he's gonna be a good guy, despite the fact that he's manipulative, with his whole persuasion thing, and he's
Literally,
mean.
yes,
But
yes.
I think he's gonna be a good guy.
Hopefully,
It's giving Professor Snape.
yes, yeah.
I thought it was really cruel to use their fears against them. So like Darcy had a fear of cutting her hair, I think.
Hmm.
And like there was just like some sort of like backstory involved with it that I can't remember, but it was
Hmm.
kind of just like I don't cut my hair for this particular reason, and they went in and like
Used
cut her
that.
hair and used that
Yeah.
against her. And then Tori had a fear of drowning, and so at the party they pushed her in a pool, and they like pretty much like in like in The Sims when like you take the ladder out and like she can't get out, like they pretty much trapped her like I think in a pool of water that was covered in ice so she couldn't get out.
Hmm.
So she was like drowning. So like they like this like yeah, it's bullying, but this is more like harassment slash hazing than it is like bullying. Like I wouldn't even
Definitely
put this as
hazing.
bullying at all.
This is more like emotional trauma.
Yeah. Character building.
Yeah.
And then my last note is a quote actually, which I thought would be very funny for the end. It's a quote by Darcy, which is Dog Boy really was a good kisser
Oh.
because she kissed Dog Boy.
Dog mouth.
Did you write down what their real names were? Because remember they had like their real names that their parents actually gave them?
Yes. Yes, I did actually. Let me go back. Tori is Roxy Anya. Roxyanya.
Roxiana?
Roxyanya. Darcy is Gwendolina.
Rox Roxiana is giving a stripper.
It's like Rox and Ya. Like Roxania. And then Gwendolina. It's like Gwendolyn, but with Alina. Gwendolina.
That sounds like something that a millennial would name their child nowadays, like
Yes.
McKinley or something. Not McKinley, but like Mac, like Mackenzie, but like
Yeah.
McKinley
Yeah.
or something. Like
That.
some weird combination, weird spelling and stuff like that. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah, my last note is I think the series has potential, but
Yep.
it just was not for me because I aphantasia struggle with seeing and like world building I can handle to an extent, but like a full 428 pages of nothing but world building
And
and like
harassment.
harassment and just, sexualizing things that should not be sexualized. Like this in no, in story graph description, these descriptions are different. But the story graph description, it said that it was like YA on the upper side. I absolutely would not consider this YA.
No.
No, because like if, children, especially, I'm 25, as I'm talking as though teenage years was far, far ago. Teenagers, especially, are very impressionable. And
Yep.
if you allow them to read books where the women are constantly put down and like sexualized and then used and like betrayed, I feel like that's bad
There
because like
was
they're gonna
also
think this is normal.
there was also a little steamy scene in it too.
There was. It wasn't. I think it
She
was
got
like one or
fingered.
two. Yeah. See, it wasn't anything like super bad because it did say that it was a medium burn. I'm not a slow burn person.
I'm not either, unless it's done right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it just here's my thing. There's a lot of harassment in it, and there's a lot of like stuff that made me very frustrated
Yeah.
throughout the book. This is actually feeding into my buzzwords though.
Oh,
So do you want to just go into that?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So there was like all that, but honestly, towards the end, especially, I got highly invested in the storyline. I think it's more so the storyline than like all the other stuff. I think I kind of like blocked that out, and we were getting to the point where we're like, okay, well, now we're making progress in the actual story where we're finding out like lost star thing, and
Hmm.
they're like trying to figure out like solve this mystery and blah blah blah, whatever the whole. I'm not gonna dive into that because I, for one, can't remember, but two,
Yeah.
too much, too much repeating.
Time.
But
Yeah.
all that like kind of made me very invested, which is why I put the second book on hold because it was interesting. I think what
Yeah.
helped also was the dramatized audio version of it because
Yes.
I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I didn't. But despite that, there was a lot of characters and it did get very confusing overall
Very
too at the
quickly, I
same
feel
time.
like. Yeah.
But I did rate it a little higher than you'd probably think.
Did you rate it a 5?
No,
Okay, I was gonna say if you rated this a 5, I'm gonna
no,
throw hands. Like I
no,
will
no, 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 no,
actual
no, no, no,
on
no,
God start throwing hands with you.
no, 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 no.
What'd you rate it?
I gave it a 4 out of 5. Just a solid 4. Like, I was invested enough to give it a 4.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there was a lot of, like, really bad things in there, though. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little
Uh,
high, but,
my buzzwords or buzz comments, which I normally don't do, like I normally narrow it to words, but I was at a loss for words that would describe what I felt. I put hard to get into because it was very, very hard for me to like actually want to read this. Like I kept reading other stuff around it,
yeah,
even though I was on a deadline for it because I just didn't want to. It seemed very back and forth. Like it was very like it seemed like they were progressing super quickly and then they weren't progressing at all and then they were back
yeah,
to progressing too fast, you know. And then romance was very sketchy.
it was just a little
I don't even know
bit.
if I would call it romance. It was more like non-consensual consent. Like I don't know.
Something along those
I
lines.
said something along those lines,
Like, it's
honestly.
like they kind of liked it, but they also
Yeah.
kind like they couldn't figure out whether they liked it or not. And it's kind
Yeah.
of like, okay, well, that's kind of important when it comes to stuff like that.
To something
Like,
like to that extent. If it was like a guy like accidentally brushing his hand against you, oh, I don't know if I like that. That's fine. But like a guy literally sucking blood from your neck,
yeah,
like you kind of that's kind of a big deal. But I rated it a 3 out of 5.
that's
And
higher than I expected
I
from
I
you.
know. I know. I didn't like it. But I rated Onyx Storm like more like a 4.5 out of 5 because like it did actually pertain to the story and it was progressive. But it wasn't like back and forth. It was a lot of like lore dump about a war and like fighting and battles and stuff, which is in the end, it was very progressive. This did not feel that way at all to me.
Yeah.
It felt like it was 2 steps forward and 20 steps back at times.
Yeah, there was a lot of going back and forth.
Yeah. I mean, I do see the potential in the series. I do see why people love it enough to have like book trophies and like attend
Yeah.
signings for it and things. Because like I mean, they do have 8 of them, so they do have like a lot of time and space to progress. But I'm
Mhm.
not a long series person. Like I don't read long series. If you can't get me in the first book, you ain't got me.
Yeah. I mean, like this is like the kind of book where like the cover looks so pretty and I'm like I kind of really want that on my shelf because it looks so pretty, but I'm kind of glad I never got it because I'm kind of
Yeah.
like I don't know if I'd pick that book up again.
Yeah. I do like all the cover art. The cover art, like in
The
all of
cover
them.
art is stunning.
Yes, it is very stunning. Yeah, especially the more it progresses, like you can just see like the different details. Excuse me, the different details that they've added to it. But yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this book to somebody because it seemed like the first one especially because it seemed hard.
Yeah. I think another thing that feeds into, I guess, why I rated it as high as I did is because I've read a lot of trash. And I do
Yeah.
it for fun too. Like I
So
know
your
it's
threshold's a little bit
trash.
bigger.
A little bit,
Yeah.
like I'm reading about like there's no substance to the story. It's just a woman and a gingerbread man or something like that.
Or a
Like the
pillow,
bar's
you
the
know?
bar is a little low. So I
Oh my
think
gosh.
I think that helps. I'm not saying that this book is trash either, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about that, and I'm like, I've read a lot of trash, so like my bar is kind of low when it comes to.
Yeah. I guess that would make it easier to start like ranking things a little bit higher because you're so
Yeah.
used to the bar being so low. Lord.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
We should discuss what our highest and lowest ratings for the
Oh.
ABC
Yeah. Let me find that.
challenges. Do we
Let me
start with
find
the
that.
high? Let's start with the lowest, bad news first.
Okay. Do you want to go first and like take turns?
Yeah, sure. My lowest rating is a 2 out of 5, which was Pleasures of the Night by Sylvia Day.
I gave 0 stars to Unkindness of Ravens. I did not give it a rating because I didn't finish it. That was the only book in the ABC Challenge that I had to DNF because it was very triggering and very like upsetting. So that one would be 0 stars.
And then for the highest ratings, I had a lot of high rating books in the series
Mhm.
of this. So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think like it's hard picking one because they were all
Yeah,
good in their own way.
yeah,
Like if I'm gonna pick like a thriller, like a non-romance book to
yeah.
pick, like to recommend to somebody, it's gonna be Never Lie by Frida McFadden.
Oh, that one was so good.
But if I'm gonna pick like a romance one, I kind of wrote down two because there's two that I like really liked. Like
Mm,
there's Icebreaker, which is very popular.
mm,
Like I'd recommend that book for sure.
hmm.
And then A Thousand Heartbeats, I absolutely loved. It's an underdog book to me because I don't feel like
Yeah,
people talk about it enough.
like Collar Swafford, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carla Swafford's my love.
I
Kiara
know.
Cass will be my first love though, and
Yeah,
still I love her so much. But
I
like sh
know.
those are probably like my like if I have to recommend like those are them. I still have like a whole bunch of more like 5 stars that we've done throughout the ABC challenge, but like
Hmm. Those are the two you'd recommend.
those are like the ones I'd recommend.
See, my 5 stars, I wrote down a romance and then also a thriller. Icebreaker is the one I chose for romance because that one, especially the audio one, was amazing. I have the first two books of that series in the special edition covers. And then the thriller would be Haunting of Ashburn House because I have never listened to an audiobook that scared me
Me
as much as
either.
that one. Oh my gosh,
The
that one
only
was like
reason why
goosebumps.
I didn't give that a 5 is because it scared me too much.
Literally. That one was too scary.
But
Yeah, I
I
don't know
do
if that one was
recommend that.
thriller or horror.
It was
Horror,
like horror,
horror.
thriller,
Yeah,
tomato, tomato.
it was really good. That was really good. I'm gonna have to recommend that one. Well, thank you for joining us for the ABC Challenge. We are very excited for our next read because it is author that we have read on this and interviewed on this podcast before. So we're excited to get back in touch with her again, Miss
Yay.
Trina Van Hoff. If
Shout
you
out.
are, yeah, shout out if you're listening. I know you are, girl. We love you. We are attending the Book Fest in Jasper. It was originally the Summerton Book Fest, but now it is Foothills, I think.
Yes,
Okay,
Foothills
yeah.
Book Fest, which,
Foothills
by
Book
the
Fest.
way, they made a post today saying that all their vendor slots are filled.
Yes, I know. I'm so
So there's going to
excited.
be a ton of people there.
I know because they said that they had more vendors picked out, like more vendor spots this year than they have the previous 2 years. So this will be our third year attending. It is October 11th. Mystery History Smut Oh My, and it will be in Jasper. You can find their Facebook page at the Foothills Book Fest on Facebook. I believe they're also on Instagram, but don't quote me on that. We'll be posting about the event on Instagram and probably pinning it to the top, I'm assuming, and then put it on the website as well if we can. I think we can.
Yes, I think I already have it on the website actually.
Okay. All right. Well, we have an email if you'd like to reach out to us. We're starting our third recording on this because we keep yapping. Our email is biblioaudiopod@gmail.com. If you are
Yep,
a author or if you have a book recommendation that you would like for us to read and review. And then our Instagram is also biblioaudiopod,
yep,
I think. Yeah, now it all matches because I made you change it because I'm stupid.
yep. And our website is biblioaudiopod.com, which I don't think everything's up to date just yet.
Not
No,
we're
it
get
is
we're
not.
getting closer. Getting closer.
Is very much not. We will probably fix that hopefully by the time this uploads. If not, we'll be very close to doing so. Um,
In spirit. I'm just
in
kidding.
spirit. Mentally, it'll be there.
Mentally, we're
Physically,
ready.
maybe not.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Bibliophiles Audio Files. You'll hear us in the next one.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.